It's working. We are live. I'm going to give it a few minutes. Hello, everybody. It's been a long time since I have done this. I was actually kind of nervous about it. Let's see. Hello, everybody. I will give everybody a minute to get in. If there's anybody here, I see there's a few people. Hey, guys. Happy Sunday. Six. Hey, thanks for the thumbs up already, guys. I appreciate that. Come on in and say shalom. How's everybody doing? So I thought I would do something fun. Hey, hello, Camel Girl. Happy Sunday. I haven't seen you for a long time. And that's my Jack and Pickles, which I did from my phone because I wanted to make sure it was working. So that's cool. Hey, Renee. Long time no see, girlfriend. Yes, I needed this. I was starting to get a little bit lonely over here. Yeah, you're missing in action or I'm missing in action. I gotta tell you, I've been pretty busy. As my father would say, busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Yeah. So I almost have the renovations done. Well, not totally done for my parents' house, but I am still here and I got to put in a little bit more work, but it's going. And I have this great whiskey alternative. I thought we would make a cocktail with it. So, yeah, I'll show it to you. I got this on Amazon. I've already tried it and it's gone right down the drain. So, I'm wondering if I can actually make a whiskey sour out of this stuff. So I thought I would try that with you. And, if, doing it up with all this great cocktail stuff and grenadine syrup, if that doesn't work, then this whole bottle is just going to have to go down the drain. Hello, everybody. Hey, Bess, Teresa. It's good to see everybody. So the deal is, I do like whiskey. I actually didn't drink for a really long time because I got pregnant when I was in college. I was 21 years old. So I, other than Manischewitz, I really didn't go out and drink a whole lot. But once in a great while, if I went out, I did like a whiskey sour, and I liked Fireball because I like the cinnamon. So when I first moved to the island and met Terry, he's a Jack person, and he's drinking Jack pretty much every Saturday night. So I was drinking with him, and I think that I did my college years during that whole COVID thing on the island, and I just got sick of it. I like the taste of whiskey, but I just can't seem to drink it anymore. And then when I got sick and had to go back on antibiotics, then I definitely wasn't drinking it. But I kind of miss it once in a while. I miss the taste of it. So I thought that I would try this. And it's not that I can't drink it, it's just I really don't want to. I'm still on a bunch of antibiotics, and I actually noticed that if I have too much alcohol, even like my Sabbath wine, if I'm drinking more than just like a little bit, I will break out in a rash all over my stomach. So I just think it's something that my body is kind of kicked out. So, what do you guys think? This bottle costs $30. So that's a lot to pour down the drain, really. But I think that we should give it a try. So, does anybody have a drink of choice? I don't judge. I just don't do it anymore. I just can't. Hey, Betty. Sparkling grape juice is good. Yes. Yes. I go through a lot of that actually, especially on the Jewish holidays. That's good stuff. All right. I don't have any ice. So, I mean, that already kind of sets me up for disaster, but you know, I just don't have any ice. So, all right. I don't know how much you're supposed to do of this stuff. Jake's Sour Mix. Smells like the makings of a whiskey sour. Does grenadine go in a whiskey sour? Because I've never paid attention. I don't know. Well, why not? Why not? All right. First, a smell test. It kind of smells like old vinegar and feet. I'm not adding that much of this. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. I'm not adding too much. This smells so bad. Okay, all right. That'll do it. Wait, I gotta mix this up. No, Bess, there's no alcohol in it. This is a whiskey alternative. And it smells so gross. Once again, the recap is vinegar and feet. All right, we're going to try to make it taste good, though. All right. L'chaim. Nope. 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 Nope, definitely not. So, for all you people that are out there drinking the real thing, drink responsibly. Enjoy the Jack, Fireball, Tennessee, cinnamon. What's it called? Jack Daniels has one that's Tennessee Fire. That's really good. No, not good. I think, you know what? I think I would have gotten more out of a bottle of NyQuil. Well, I know I would have gotten more alcohol out of a bottle of NyQuil. Yeah, this stuff is just that's not going to do it for me. No. I guess I'm sticking with water. Sherry, good to see you. Wild Turkey. Is that whiskey or is that rum? Jim Beam. I know Jim Beam. A long time ago, when I was an actress and schlepping, going to different sets and things, I mean, when you first start out, you take whatever you can get. So I would do some industrials. And one industrial film I had to do was actually for Jim Beam. And it was like one of their training videos to train bartenders and stuff. They didn't give me any to take home. It was like no free samples or anything like that. So. Bourbon. Gotcha. Yeah, so this stuff, no good. Do not waste your money on zero proof ritual whiskey alternative. If you are a whiskey drinker and it's not doing anything to your health, and if you are drinking your whiskey and your booze responsibly, that's great. I think I want to tell you all a joke, just because it's in my head. I have a lot of jokes in my head. Should have seen the dad that I grew up with. He was a funny guy. But this is the only clean joke that I know. So I'm going to share it for you guys. No, I have not had any alcohol. I'm just having fun all on my own. Oh, and I'm not high either. I would like to put that out there. I had a very good day, no pain, so didn't have to do that. One bourbon was scotch and beer. Oh, Camel Girl, scotch. Oh. You're strong. Ugh, no thank you. My dad was an MGD man. Beer and NASCAR with his cowboy boots. Yeah, that was about as exciting as it got. Okay, so I know you guys haven't heard this one because I actually heard it from my 3rd grade teacher. I'm changing the names because I don't remember the names that she used. So there was this farmer, and he had 3 boys. Their names were Larry, Curly, and Mo. One day he was just so mad. One of the kids, somebody had put the outhouse into the river, and he was just so mad. So he came up to him. Hey, I want to know, I want to ask y'all, one at a time, who pushed the outhouse into the river? Larry, did you do it? He said, no, Paul. Curly? No, Paul. Mo? No, Paul. And then he started getting really mad, really worked up, because he knew one of them had done it. He said, boys, I'm going to tell you a story. This is a story about George Washington. Now, you see, one day George Washington took his father's axe and cut down his father's prized cherry tree. And when his father came up to him and asked him who done it, he said, Father, I can never tell a lie. I chopped down that cherry tree. And you see, his father didn't give him a whipping, see, because he told the truth. So I'm going to ask y'all one more time. Larry, did you knock the outhouse into the river? No, Paul, I didn't do it. Curly, did you knock the outhouse into the river? No, Paul, I didn't do it. Mo, he says, Father, I can never tell a lie. I knocked the outhouse into the river. Well, with that, his father got so mad, took a belt to him, and then he took a switch to him. He beat him really good. And Mo says, Daddy, I don't understand. George Washington's daddy didn't whip him when he told the truth. He says, son, that's a different story. George Washington's daddy wasn't in the cherry tree when he chopped it down. I hope you guys are laughing. That one still gets me. Like I said, I would tell more jokes. I have jokes for days growing up with my father, but just none of them are appropriate. And I think that people would be absolutely shocked if they were coming out of my mouth. So I'll just leave that alone. Hey, Sherry, Nona, Teresa Jacobs is here. Noelia, I get it wrong all the time. I'm sorry. Mahelia. I'm probably not saying it right. So I was feeling pretty stressed out. I am doing all this with my mom's house. I'm still going through a lot of things, packing up things. I've got a storage unit, I've got a storage pod. This is not an easy stage of life to be in when your parents get older. And this morning, actually, my mom had to be admitted to rehab. So she's going to be gone for 20 days. And now the house is really insanely quiet. So that kind of depressed me. I haven't slept the greatest in the past couple of nights. I'm glad that she's in a really, really nice facility, though. Very nice. And I know that she's going to get better, and we're going to get through this next chapter. But it's definitely not easy when your parents get older. So, has anybody out there have they taken care of, you all taken care of, like your mom or dad or, my mom, she's been diagnosed with Parkinson's, but they just found out that she's been carrying toxoplasmosis this whole time. So toxoplasmosis can absolutely look like Parkinson's. So when she gets that taken care of, we'll see if, her shaking and these other symptoms will go away. I'm really hopeful. Camel Girl says that luckily her mom is going strong at 84. God bless. Absolutely. Last time I saw you. Yeah, you know what? I always have the sushi. Renee, I've been on a sushi kick since I moved back here to the mainland. Everything that I want now is so accessible. So I've done a really good job. I have gained, let's see, when I came back here, I was only 96 pounds. And I weighed myself this morning and I'm up to 104. So all of that sushi is going somewhere. So yeah, Kathy says she took care of her mother and father before they passed away, and it's very hard to go. It really is. It's it really is. And I'm my parents' only child. My dad has an older daughter, but we're 13 years apart. I did not grow up with her at all. So in terms of, with my mom and everything with the house, I mean, it's on me. So it's hard not, it's not having any siblings that can help. Nancy says that she took care of her mom, that she had dementia right as COVID started. That's tough. So, that was really hard during COVID because there were so many people that could not see their loved ones who were in rehab or nursing homes or assisted living or whatever when everything was on lockdown. I know my husband's dad, he was in rehab for a long time, and through the COVID, nobody could see him. And I think if it wasn't for technology being able to boost his spirits, I think that depression could have gotten to him. I think that can get to a lot of people, when they're in that situation, and especially not being able to see not see their family. So it's tough. So I am counting my blessings. I'm very grateful that right now, COVID isn't a huge issue, at least not where where my mom is at. And I'm hoping that she'll do pretty well in 20 days. And then we've got to work on finding a house. So I am still going to try to find a house in Crisfield. So thank you, Kathy. Yeah, it is hard. But I would rather take care of my mom, more than anybody. And I used to be a CNA. I, for the most part, that was the best job that I ever had. But in terms of where I worked, the facility that I worked at, it was pretty good. But I still saw a lot. There's still a lot of people in that line of work that just shouldn't be in that line of work. They don't have the compassion, or they're not patient. A lot of people can be very not patient, very snappy, and very lazy. I used to work night shift, so there were some CNAs, they wouldn't want to, answer their patient's buzzer, so they would actually take their alarm away from them at night and stuff like that. I couldn't fathom anybody doing that to my mom. So, I'm going to take care of her as long as possible. Right now, I know that she has to go to rehab. She's got to get stronger on her legs, because if my mom goes down on me, there's no way I could physically get her back up myself. So I hear you, Camel Girl. Yep, for real. It's good to see you, Rhonda. Yeah, it's good to see everybody. I was kind of a little lonely, and I've talked to my husband about everything that I can possibly talk to him about. So I said, hon, I think I'm probably going to go online. He's like, all right, have fun. So, hi, Tammy. Good to see you. Yeah, it's good to see everybody. It's good to see everybody. I have to say, I was kind of dealing with everything. I was getting a little bit bummed out. I'm going to get back to Bess's question. Do I think I will be going back to the island? No. The next time I will be going back to stay on the island is going to be when tourist season starts again. So in May, I'll be there for a little while, making sure to get everything together, get the business up, functioning, operational, add, the new stuff that we're going to have, and then be there for the most part, when there are active tourists there. But during the rest of the time, no, I have absolutely no interest in going back to live there. That's no. So I'm going to continue looking for a house in Crisfield. There's some really pretty ones, and when I do find something nice, Terry goes and he does the FaceTime. He goes with the realtor, and they do the FaceTime. So we've been looking at the houses together. It is hard being away from Terry. We're both really independent people, but we're together at this point in our lives because we did both find, somebody that we like being with. Terry and I have so much fun together. It doesn't matter what we do. We're always having fun. And, he's my soft place to fall, and I'm his. But he just can't, he can't just leave businesses very much tied up, over there in the island and working with the boats. And it's a whole, it's a whole way of life. You just you can't change that overnight. But me being here, I'm actually really taking this opportunity just to get things done that have needed to be done for a really long time. Whether it's, getting the medical care for my mom and seeing new specialists or whatever she needs. I also have a jaw surgery coming up. It's actually coming up in a couple weeks. I have to have 2 or 3 of them. So the first one is scheduled in a couple of weeks. And I'm working on getting this house remodeled, and it's looking beautiful. Would you guys actually like to see what it looks like? Because a lot's been done since I posted my last video on the Jack and Pickles vlogs. Here, let me show you really quick. Look how pretty. You guys like it? So they still have to put in the countertop and do a few other things, but it's looking so good. So I'm really happy that I'm getting this done. And my parents took care of like all the outside stuff and like the really heavy stuff that you need for home insurance purposes. But as far as inside of the house, they never really wanted to be bothered doing anything. And I just can't sell it like that. So getting it upgraded, and I'm so happy. I'm actually starting to like this house. So that's going to be a nice chapter to close on. Let's see. Nancy is asking, how does he deal with the people on the island? Do the rest of the islanders not know what happened? Terry does his work and he goes home, and he isolates himself. To be quite honest, that's exactly what he used to do most of the time before I came along. He just stayed away from a lot of people. What's unfortunate about that is when I first moved there, I didn't know anybody, and I was really just trying to fit in. So I would party with Terry, and I have to say that I'm just like I don't know if it's because of like all the learning disabilities and stuff that I have. It just makes me a little bit slower. But I think I was like really naive in a lot of those situations. I really thought that I had, made friends my age and was having fun with friends. And no, I just ended up finding out that was exactly why I'd never really hung out with that crowd to begin with. Like, I mean, I was never like a partier. And I'm not saying that I can't. I enjoy going out and dancing and, having a good time and everything. But at the end of the day, it's not my personality to be that way all the time. And I was in with personalities who are that way all the time. And that you can't make real friends with people like that. So, it is what it is. And, but Terry's okay. Oh, hey, Shar. Good to see you. Oh, hey, Doreen. Thank you. Yes, I know. I'm so excited about this kitchen. I can't smile too much. My face is going to hurt. But anyways, I hope that answers some questions. So, Terry deals by, not just doesn't let stuff bother him. We had a good time when he was here, and I didn't put the camera in his face. I was going to have the camera out the next day when all of us went to the Renaissance Festival, and the kids were all dressed up. we were so excited to go. We traveled 50 minutes, and then while we're there, we see a big marquee, and it says, all tickets sold out. I was so bummed. So we didn't get to go to the Renaissance Festival. Yeah, I'm sure everybody would have loved to see Terry in tights. I'm just kidding. I didn't have him in tights. He had a cool pirate hat, though. Oh, yes, Shar, private time. Yes, I know. I know. And there's not, you don't want to do too much make out sections sessions on FaceTime, because I'm pretty sure that Google would be filming if I did that. Do you guys remember, this is one of Terry's favorite movies, the European Vacation? Guys, help me out. I'm having a brain fart. National Lampoon's European Vacation. You know, when somebody like accidentally gets the tape when she's like, va, 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 boom, like that, and then it ends up on a billboard and everything. Yeah, if I did any kind of sexting or anything like that with Terry, I know darn well Google people would film me, and then it would end up somewhere. Probably on like Comedy Central billboard. Miss Hawaiian, your daughter's name is Ellie. I have a secret. So my real name is actually Danielle. So I take the ELLE and then just add a Y to it. I have gone by Ellie ever since college. Reason being is because I kept running into too many Danielles that were just nuts. So I thought I would try to pretend that I was normal by giving myself a different nickname. Yeah. Yeah, being a newcomer was not easy at all. And the second that there's a newcomer, especially if it's a female, there's a click over there that's already on the radar. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I didn't know that women that age could still act like that. The last time that I dealt with a lot of those similar situations was in middle school, quite honestly. I mean, the mentality was the same. Yeah, Tammy, you're right. The Mean Girls Club. Yeah, only adults. And the thing is, I've seen this before. If you work in like daycare, if you work in nursing, if you're in teaching, if you're in any kind of job that is predominantly females, I've seen that before many, many times. Like if you're not part of the clique and you don't want to stand around and talk about everybody, if you separate yourself, then all of a sudden you become the target. So I've seen that type of thing before in like work settings and everything, but it was unfortunate that I happened to have that same situation on an island with less than 200 people. There were less than 200 people when I moved there 4 years ago. So yeah, teachers and aides. Yeah, a lot of people can be mean. Yep. Camel Girl, you're absolutely right. You see, all of the experiences that I had reinforced exactly why I just keep to myself. And honestly, I'm very happy that way. Um, I'm an INFJ personality, so I am introverted for the most part. And I don't feel like I'm in competition with anybody. I think that that's weird for females to be jealous of one another and things like that. I just think that that's strange. I don't know if it's just the way my brain is built or if it's part of my personality type, but if I wanted something, then I go get it or I go do it. Um, you set goals for yourself, work hard. I work hard every day for the things that I want. And I think I did a good job, you know. I mean, when I was young, I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be in SAG. I wanted to publish books. I wanted to have an acting school. All these different things I wanted to do, and I did every single one of them. So I just don't understand how grown adults can get jealous of each other. If you want something, then get up and do it. Get off the couch. Make a plan for yourself, you know? And every day you can start new. And it doesn't matter how old you are. If there's something that you've been thinking about for a really long time and it's almost bothering you because you haven't done it yet, go do it. Look into it. You know, do it. We're only here once. We're only here once. A lot of people go by that saying, live your best life. I hate that. I hate it when people are like, oh, live your best life. No, I'm going to live my life. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's my life. And I know that I want it to be fulfilling. So it's just weird to me that not everybody has that mindset. Oh, hey, Linda, good to see you. I have no idea what time it is over there. She says you're Winter's 35. Thank you. She says you're not strange. You are a confident person. I do the same at age 68. I appreciate you saying that. And oh, good, Linda. I'm glad it's not middle of the night. I'm glad that you say that. I actually am really confident. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm bad at. I know what my strengths are. And I am very confident. I've learned a lot. Smith Island was a total realm for learning. It's got a lot of angels there. It's got a couple of demons and it's got more minions, but I think that that's everywhere that you go. But probably particularly small towns and villages. I've had a couple of people from like Scotland have given me some similar stories where they have some small villages and where newcomers have come in and kind of made it what they want to be and monopolized it, and not for the better, but it is what it is. Yeah, Linda, you're in. Are you in Ireland? Because yeah, I'm sure that you know about the small town mentality too. Aw, that's great, Winters. Yes, enjoy your family. Only the Teresa J. Only the doctors are allowed to use the phone. I don't understand that. You mean I'm not sure what we were talking about. You mean like where my mom is at? Only the doctors can use the phone? Oh, in the movie that I was in, only the doctors can use the phone? I'm sorry, Teresa. Yeah, Bess. They kind of make their own rules. Actually, you know what I really feel like happened on Smith Island? And it's so funny that I was being dubbed the Smith Island Witch as well. I thought that was kind of appropriate. But you guys know about the Salem witch trials. Some of the details with that. So, Samuel Reverend Paris, he was a newcomer to that town. And the town was already kind of split. There was people that got along and there was ones that didn't get along. A lot of the ones that didn't get along were the ones that wanted more land or property or title or whatever. And they did not like the ones that had that were very well known in the community for their kindness, for their business. And when the Reverend Paris finally got his demands met, and he was getting an awful lot of free stuff from, he was getting an awful lot of free stuff for his family for just coming there to serve as their new reverend. And the truth is, he was a failed merchant. He wasn't good at anything that he had done prior to that. And there was a lot of kind of shady business dealings that seemed to be surrounding him. So he also needed a place to kind of hide out. Well, when he got there, he was very much befriended by the group that wanted him there, and they all got together and they were scratching his back and meeting all the demands that he wanted. So, of course, he was going to be on their side. And when all of a sudden his niece is the one starting to throw accusations, and then it was her friends, which was all kids that were or young girls that were on this side of the town where their parents were always, having discord with the working part of the town. And, when they went through those trials, there was never any physical proof of anything. It was all what they considered to be spectral evidence. Okay. It was these girls or these adults throwing out accusations and even claiming that these women's spirits were coming out and biting them and doing all this other stuff, witchcraft. Spectral evidence. Imagination. Something that doesn't really exist. Spectral evidence. Rumors. Carried on the wind. Perpetrated by fear. And then you've got this group that's getting bigger because fear is setting in to the other ones. They don't want their names thrown out. They don't want to be accused of anything. Why am I talking about this? Because Smith Island, as well as a lot of channels and places, are doing the same thing with people. They are creating spectral evidence through Facebook. So they're literally going up, and those blibs that you type into? So one of them can type something, oh, Ellie and Terry did blah, 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 blah. And then they take a screenshot and then send it to, I don't know, maybe a YouTuber's channel that likes to jump on anything that Ellie and Terry are doing. And then that spectral evidence, that rumor, that imagination, this thing that doesn't even exist, it ends up being a feather of rumors that gets carried on the wind out to thousands of people. All right. Those people that all this stuff went to hate me, I have no doubt that a lot of them absolutely would have hung me up on a tree too and called me a witch. It really does happen that easily. So when we think back to things like, Salem witch hunt or even the Holocaust, people are like, well, how does that happen? How does that happen? Well, it's kind of easy. It's actually kind of easy. And what's really sad is that people, for some reason, love to jump on whatever negative thing they can find or whatever they hear about you, whether it's true or not, and they don't even care. That becomes their spectral evidence. And I think a lot of people have gotten caught in that crossfire. On the island, though, I think I got caught in it the worst because of who I ended up with. And there was just a couple of people that, well, they didn't want me with him from the beginning. So, but it is what it is. I've learned a lot. I'm definitely paying a lot more attention to people's patterns of behavior. And I'm not trusting any person with my information. I don't know. It's kind of sad. It does kind of put you in a place where you're just not really willing to try to go out and make good friends anymore. But, I'm kind of there. So. Linda, you're right. She said that nobody is interested in getting both sides of the story. And yeah, nobody. And that's weird to me because I've always been a person that's like, why? But why? But why? And when there's a contradiction with something, like if somebody's saying something and I hear what they're saying, but what they're doing is clearly something else, I pay attention to what their hand is doing and not what they're saying, especially if it's a contradiction. But there's so many people, they love to jump on the one or the other. It's weird to me. I hear you, Camel Girl. Yeah, a lot of innocent people have been victims, and I've got to tell you something that I really found it's bizarre to me is having people come to me and accuse me of having a bunch of fake accounts. I'm like, does everybody do that? Like, is that normal to do that? Because I like having a face to what I have to say. I don't feel like I have to hide behind anything if I've got something to say. And I'm the type of person, I don't like people speaking for me either. So, it's not just, and Dorian, you know what? It's not just been a soap opera. It's felt like a spiritual battle. And what's really weird is, well, when I came back here and I went to my dentist, the specialist, he's going to be doing, he's like a disease dentist. They had me hooked up to all kinds of stuff, and they put my finger in something, and then I was just sitting back, and then the girl says, okay, I didn't want to tell you, but I just hooked you up to a stress test, and I forget what else she said it was. She says, I usually don't tell people because I don't want them to stress out. So she brings it up on the computer and she's like, we have to go over something. So, in terms of my body, I was handling stress okay. She had this little green right here. It was a green marker. Now, I went there about 5 days to a week after I left the island. So, keep that in mind. Okay, so the green, she says, wow, with, everything you're going through, like, and I didn't even tell her stuff. Like, I just told her about my dad passing and me taking care of the house. But she said that green represented like the physical stress. And she said, you're actually handling things very, very well. But I want you to take a look at this red line. And that thing was like this. And she said, do you see this? She said, psychologically, you are in fight or flight mode. And this has got to come down. I actually felt embarrassed. Like, I felt embarrassed that there was a test like that could show on screen where I was at, psychologically. And yeah, I cannot deny I was definitely in fight or flight mode. And I think I was in fight or flight mode for 3 years because I felt like I had to constantly defend my relationship. We would go home, we would work, go home, and there was still always a problem, whether it was letters showing up, people complaining about our business, or being accused of doing something, or having the whole island told that I was a narc. And just, the more ridiculous the rumors got, the more that side listened to. And that's what's the most bizarre to me. That's the most bizarre. Yeah. Oh, hey, Henry. Is this Susan? Hey, Susan and Henry. I haven't seen you guys for a while. It's always the honest ones with the big heart that care, that are picked on, especially when you speak up about them lying about you. And that is absolutely true. And, there's always somebody that's going to get persecuted for the truth. Yeah. There's a lot of scapegoats out there. I do stand my ground. I feel much better that I left, because I can't, that was just too much to do. That was too much for me. And, I had moved there, wanting it to be a very peaceful place. And Terry and I were building such a gorgeous life together. I mean, I really love my house and chickens and, just everything that we were doing with our business and all kinds of stuff. And truth be told, we still have people that are interested in possibly doing a reality show. So when all of this went down, like, I didn't even care. Like, I wanted off the island. And I actually even called the producers and let them know, I don't think this is going to work. So yeah, I was willing to give up all of that just to have peace. It's very true, Camel Girl. They do thrive off Discord, and that's something that I don't understand either. Like, I've never been like that. And through the course of YouTube and everything, there are times I've gotten caught up. When you start to get hit from every single angle, especially when you don't understand why, it wears on you. It wears on you. And you're like, well, where is all this coming from? because I did somebody a favor, you know. And they say that no good deed goes unpunished. And that definitely does kind of seem to be how it is. You should try reflexology for relaxation. It really works to have a clear mind. Love that idea. I actually kind of do my own meditation. I would never let somebody watch me do it. It's probably embarrassing, but I do some stretches, some meditation. Um, I have to say, as of lately, though, I have not been sleeping well at all. I'm one of those people that when I lay down, my brain is still active, like thinking about all the things that I still have to do. And, it's, you know. Hey, Doreen. I didn't know there was a test. Don't be embarrassed. That says, yeah, I think that everybody kind of gets tested, but I have to tell you that the main one that was getting tested through all that was Terry, you know? Yeah. They were wondering, what's he going to say? What's he going to do? And I think that they were always trying to catch him in something. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Over there, you can't, with this group, you can't donate enough, you can't do enough, you can't give enough, you can't be kind enough. If they don't like you, they don't like you. And you know what? I'm fine with that, because if they don't like me when I didn't do anything to them, then that truly is their problem. And I can deal with that. I've been dealing with myself for 44 years, so I still have a lot to master, but I think I'm doing pretty well so far. And like I said, being on the island, that was a small classroom setting that I needed to find out about people and how things really work. And, Terry and I are very strong. We're very strong because of it. So I know everything's going to work out. Susan, you beat it. You're in remission. And Winters, you said you can't worry about tomorrow. Take minute by minute, live your life for you to the fullest. And that's absolutely true. And I have to tell you that I'm the type of person, I kind of get like Scarlett O'Hara. Like if I just can't think about it, I'll do that. I don't think about that now. I'll think about it tomorrow. Like, yeah, I have some of those moments, and I can block things out. I can get into a state where I block them out. But at night, sometimes, yeah, I do have a hard time. True love will survive. I do believe that. I do believe that. And it was a good learning situation for him too. Terry's learned a lot about people too, and he's also learned. I mean, it was unfortunate to see which one of his friends actually weren't friends. Like he found out which ones really just used him as a tool, you know. But the older we get, that's why our circle gets smaller. And I'm pretty sure that every single one of you out there knows what I'm saying. We're definitely, we start to absolutely pick more quality over quantity of friends. So right now my circle is very small, and I'm going to keep it that way. That's awesome, Henry and Susan. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. Absolutely right. If you are still here and you have faced death, like when you have faced illness like that, if you are still here, you are blessed. Okay. You're blessed. You're blessed to have a second chance, third chance, whatever it is. God still has a purpose for you. And enjoy it. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Just enjoy it all. And especially the way the state of the world is going right now, none of us is guaranteed. None of us is guaranteed anything, you know? And Tammy Anderson is down to just a few friends. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm totally okay with that. Winters, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that I know that I'm my mom's best friend, and I have a great mom. I have to tell you, I could have fallen through the cracks if I did not have the mom that I have, with all the learning disabilities and all that stuff. I'm going to make a video about it and put it on my other channel because I do think it's really important. Um, Especially if anybody out there has, children or grandchildren, with IEPs. I would love to be able to, give firsthand perspective, what all of it is like. Um, but if I didn't have my mom to help me and she was so patient. She would do so many things that were just brilliant for me to accommodate me. For such a long time, I couldn't read. So like my records, after I would listen to them, I'd put them on the floor, but then I wouldn't know which sleeve they went into because I couldn't read. So my mom would always draw little pictures on my records. So like if it was the three little pigs, she'd put three little pigs. If it was Hansel and Gretel, she put a picture of a witch on there, stuff like that. Cinderella, she put a shoe. So I always had some kind of visual recognition. Hey, Laura's World. Good to see you. Aw. Yeah, that's true, Doreen. That's true. Yep. When you get sick, it can bring out the best in people or it could bring out the worst in people. For me, with my ex-husband, when I got sick, that's when it really brought out the worst in him. I love you too, Laura's World. Yeah, my mom was pretty awesome. Yeah, she pushed at those IEP meetings and everything. And when I had a really hard time in school, in sixth grade, I was picked on pretty badly, and I actually was even picked on by the teacher. Um, if you know somebody that's dyslexic or has other disabilities, my brain was dysed 3 times. I have dyspraxia, dyscalculia, and dyslexia. Um, and it was my sixth grade teacher that made me feel the worst about myself. Uh, I know I had voiced that I wanted to be an author, and she looked straight at me and told me that was never going to happen because I couldn't read. And yeah, don't ever say that. Don't ever say that to a kid. So, yeah, yeah, it was not fun. And then, in the classroom, when you have that kind of thing going on with the teacher, and she picked on me a lot. She was the type that she was always making an example out of me, even when I was very much trying my best. Um, One thing would be we had these, they were called LAPs. It stood for language art packets, and they were really thick. So you only had a certain amount of time to do that in the class. Well, for me, everything takes 3 times as long. And there was about a week that I think my resource teacher was not there. I think she had I think she had just had a baby or something, and they hadn't had a sub yet. So I was in my regular classroom and I was not able to leave to go to my resource where I would typically do a lot of my schoolwork, especially if I was behind and I would have one-on-one help. Well, she berated me in front of the class that I didn't have it done, that I was too slow. And I took it home. I took the packet home because she said, "You're going to have to make it up." So I took it home. I took it home for a weekend, and I remember I was even at my grandmother's house, and I was so proud of myself because I was working really hard. And I even remember what I was learning because the packets at the time, hey, Kyle, the packet at the time was about Egypt, and I loved Egyptian history. So I was getting really into my packets and I was blowing through it. And I think I had done like 6 pages. I came back to school on Monday. I was so proud of myself. And I gave her my packet and I'm proud of myself. And she goes, "Wait a minute. How did you get all this done?" And I said, "I took it home for homework." And she goes, "Oh no." And she took the packet and she slammed it. She goes, "You do not take these packets home." And then she continued to berate me in front of the classroom. And then that day, she had some of the other students go up to the library and actually print out a whole banner with skull and crossbones that says, "No, we do not take laps home." So she would do things like that. And if it was not for my mother, I would have fallen through the cracks because when I had the classroom, some of the kids in the classroom picking on me because the teacher was picking on me, and I was even getting picked on at recess. I had like no place to go. I was telling my principal I'm getting picked on, and then my principal was saying, "No, your teacher says you're a problem." So I wasn't getting any help. I was being called a liar, and uh, meetings were being called with my parents. So, hey, Dar, good to see you. Hey, Nona. I think I already said hi, Nona, but I'm seeing you again. Um, so I was not getting any help. I was completely miserable at school. And I had actually even told my parents that I wasn't going back to school. Like I was in 12 and I was ready to drop out. My mom had to take me to a psychologist because I was depressed. I was 12 and I was depressed because of the treatment that I was getting in 6th grade. So flash forward, I think they were in on the second meeting, and my mom said, "I'm not having meetings with these people that I don't think are listening." So she called in the superintendent to come to one of the meetings. Both of my parents worked for Montgomery County Public Schools, so they did know people. And it just so happened that day or that evening, because the meeting was going to be at 6 o'clock. Well, I toddled out to get the mail at 4 o'clock, and I finally had something. The girls that were picking on me started sending me condoms. They were sending me nasty notes and open condoms in the mail. So that showed up just in time because when my parents went to the meeting and when the principal said, "No one's picking on her," my mom and dad threw it on the table and said, "Oh no." So finally, things started to come out. And that superintendent that was there, he actually thought it would be a good idea if I switched schools. So him and my mom worked together, and I ended up being able to go to the elementary school that was like right down the way from where my mom worked. And my mom worked at a middle school. So where I was in, elementary school when I was getting picked on and so depressed and um, being called a liar, and that's one of the reasons why being called a liar is really triggering to me. When nobody believes you, what you're going through. Um, yeah, so I was getting C's and D's in that school, and when I went to the brand new school, I got all A's, one B, and one C. And I had a lot of friends. It was wonderful. So, um, Smith Island, I guess, is a little bit like sixth grade elementary. You know, they got their one at the top that they're listening to, and it is what it is. So, it's just like transferring schools. I'll go back to the mainland. It's all good. I'm very adaptable. So I did. I wrote 4 books, and you know what? She doesn't even know about it. You know, she's probably dead. I'm not sure. Uh, I think the only thing that she did in her good, in her entire teaching career was retirement. Uh, I never saw her again, but if I did see her, I wouldn't hold back. I would approach very tactfully. I never go completely ghetto on anybody or anything, but I would definitely give her a piece of my mind. Hi, Dar. Terry's good. You'll have to do the replay. I can't believe I've been on here just running my mouth for almost an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm not supposed to be running my mouth that much. And it's actually starting to yeah, it's kind of starting to swell up on me. But I actually think I'm going to go because I've been on here for a long time, but I did miss you guys. Kind of wanted to give you all a recap. Don't buy this. Yeah, the whiskey alternative does not taste like whiskey. And no amount of mix is going to help it. So just don't spend your money. All right, everybody. I want to say peace. God bless you guys. And I will try to do this again. I actually really enjoyed this. This is very nice. And especially since the house is so quiet and my mom is not going to be here for 20 days. So I'm probably going to have to do some more of this. I found it very enjoyable. Sorry if I skipped around to too many subjects. I was trying to keep an even keel. But I want to say good night, everybody. Mwah. Guys, say good night. Bye. Bye, Winters. Bye, everybody. Bye. Kisses, hugs. I got to be careful how much I do that. Good night, everybody. Peace.